What up? Pat Mayo here. Smash a like. Give me your favorite free agency move in the description. Also, new newsletter. If you want to get into a draw for, multiple draws for $100, check out the description of the video and you will find a way to subscribe to the brand new Mayo Media newsletter in there. It takes 5 seconds and you can win one of 2 prizes and maybe more giveaways of $100 just by doing that. Like I said, it takes 5 seconds to do. We went so long on the golf show, we started talking about the NFL draft for like half an hour, so we made it its own thing. So football people don't need to sift through golf, and golf people don't get triggered. We were talking about football. All right, enjoy.
Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
The excitement, and this isn't like the football stuff I'm excited to talk to you and Tim about in the future. This is just me talking to you about Tim. The level of excitement I have as we approach this draft season where he is going to be a part of a 5 quarterback mix. He's already taking shots at Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't even know who his quarterback is going to be.
Oh, but he's all in on Zach Wilson now. Did you hear?
Yeah.
After having him previously the lowest ranked of any quarterback he wanted, I've heard nothing but he's now the greatest quarterback of all time.
Like, it is unbelievable. People, if you thought, like, listen, I am blessed from above, that it was a 3 quarterback thing, that for whatever reason, the play, like, no one had to trade up. The Dolphins got their guy. I wanted Tua. The Chargers got to sit back and get their guy, and I won. But he is now, and I'm so lucky about it. But he is in this place where he gets to make that second choice, and he is going to go to the wall against every other guy in the class. Like, man, like at least my stuff with Tua, before I actually took shots, I didn't take shots until I actually watched him play in the NFL. There weren't like draft shots. It was just once he played, the shots started to fire up.
Can I tell you, I like Tua in fantasy this year.
When they draft Kyle Pitts,
Yeah, he's just going to have all the weapons.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, no, sure. Listen, and if you want to give me 30 seconds, I'm obsessed with what the Dolphins are doing. Because to me, they put themselves in the perfect spot where now, Pat, they can keep Tua and they can get linemen, receivers. They can build that thing around him. They got Will Fuller. And it's like, show us. And if you suck, well, guess what?
You're done.
They've got all that capital. And guess who might be available? An Aaron Rodgers, a Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson stuff could clear up. Like the precipice.
Do we know what's going on with that?
No, I don't want to talk about it at all.
Horrible.
It's horrible and it's sad. True or false, it's just so sad. But my point being is the Dolphins still have the draft capital that when dominoes fall with the veterans around the league that seem inevitably about to fall in a calendar year, they'll have that good team that they're like, we're just, Tua, you might be good, you might be bad, but we're too far down this road to like...
Yeah, we're good. We need to get someone who's
We're too far
great.
down this road to like help you get through it. So I'm obsessed with what they're set up to do.
I have the ultimate thing of what could happen this offseason. Because did you see Tim's tweet about threw Darnold to the curb?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
So Tim talked about the bomb squad for years. How the Jets have the best receiving core in the league with Mims and Perriman and Crowder and Herndon. Like, who could be better than that? That was his take. And then last year, in the past 2 years, when Darnold wasn't very good, the receivers weren't all that good to begin with. Yeah. But now, as it turns out, that with, Broadway Zach, as he's already calling him, look at that receiving core he has to throw to. It turns out that it was Darnold who sucked the entire time, and the receivers were really good. So best case scenario in my mind is Tua falters, but the backup in Miami is Sam Darnold. And then Sam Darnold takes over in Miami, and Darnold is great for Miami, and Cust loses his mind.
How does Darnold get to Miami?
Because they're going to cut Darnold, aren't they?
No, they'll trade him.
For what?
Second, third rounder? No. Trade him.
He has a year left on a deal?
Yeah.
I mean, Miami just traded a second for Rosen.
The funny thing
ago.
is now that the 49ers are set up, I mean,
who will get more in a trade? Rosen or Darnold? Because Rosen already got the second rounder.
I'm trying to think. The teams that could be in play for Darnold.
Chicago should be getting Darnold, or Pittsburgh should be getting
Darnold. Darnold. Denver, New England.
I would say Darnold possibilities right now. Denver, New England, Pittsburgh, Chicago. I think would be the 4 big ones on my list.
Indy's taken care of. Yeah, a lot. San Fran's taken care of. Indy's taken care of.
Is Indy taken care of? How much you try? I don't know what to think
But
of
they're
Wentz.
not going to
No,
be
they're
in
not
the
gonna-
Darnold market.
Fair enough. But
in terms of-
the Darnold market is what? You trade for him, he's on a year deal, like whatever he has left.
then if he
Good,
lives
you
up.
re-sign him?
The Darnold argument is you had a GM, you're a GM who had such a high draft grade on him, like a lot of people, and you would want him to come in, show what he's got, and you'd even bring him in on a 1-year tag if he's like really good back. And then you kick the ball down from there. I don't know.
Who else would be on that list?
You said Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I said Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is in
Washington.
Yeah, Washington. Vegas.
They could make that decision, sure.
Well, it just seems like Carr is a placeholder until they find the guy that they actually want now. Because there's always rumors about everything like, oh, you could, like whenever you hear about any quarterback in the mix, like Vegas is always like an outside team. It seems like they don't want Derek Carr to be their quarterback, but he's too good to kick to the curb for nobody, but he's not good enough to win you a Super Bowl. Yeah. He's one of those guys.
But it also now looks like...
And I don't think that Darnold's great either, but there's still a perception amongst a certain segment of people that Darnold is really good. I don't buy it, but like you're still in the tank.
I think I'm looking forward to his second opportunity because there are throws on tape that are wow. They are. And I know the whole Darnold camp.
Are they the ones to his team or the other team?
No, and I know a lot was made this week because like people were going gaga over some Wilson pro day tape, and they're like, "Look, Sam Darnold makes."
Who has bad pro day tape? I have to ask.
I don't know.
Because like you can go to the combine and suck. If you're bad at your pro day, like they don't release the footage.
I guess, but the scouts are there. The one thing, like the draft's a month from the moment we're talking. The word around town is like 5 quarterbacks in the top 5. Like top 5 picks.
Is that actually going to happen?
It's setting up to happen, although I think the Dolphins getting to 6 will make the Bengals nervous to move.
Why?
Because the Dolphins moving behind them allows them, because they were the teams up there. They don't want, like, if they still want that left tackle, the superstar left tackle from Oregon, Penei Sewell, like now the Dolphins are behind them. A lot of people thought that could go if they want to go receiver first. Like the Dolphins and their needs, I think, are aligned in many ways.
Yes and no. If I'm the Bengals, while I do want to either protect Burrow or give him a weapon,
They need defense.
they need defense, man.
But this
And
draft,
they just let go of the
okay,
pass
but this
rusher.
draft last year, and last year might need to be revisited. With hindsight, obviously, Detroit took a corner. They didn't look down the road for quarterback. That's
Well,
irrelevant.
they have Goff now.
Yeah, and is Atlanta like, well, I don't know, we're going to take a quarterback, or will Matt Ryan be good? Or if we don't take a quarterback, is someone going to go behind Matt Ryan like Herbert went behind Stafford? And it's like people are going to lose jobs over that, like they kind of did in Detroit. But this draft, unlike last year's draft pad, it doesn't have Chase Young. Like it doesn't have this player where it's like, I'm not sure about these quarterbacks, but I am like, I can take that guy and feel great about this pick. Doesn't seem like we have that player in the top 5.
It feels like Pitts is that guy that everyone agrees is awesome, but no one wants to take a tight end that high.
Yeah, I mean, from Vernon Davis to Winslow to recently Hawkinson, it's never panned out. But is he different? He looks amazing. It literally looks like he can do everything. But
I feel like the Dolphins at 6.
But I remember
You just want him to drop to the Chargers. I get that.
there's no chance he's dropping to the Chargers. The Chargers would have to trade up. He would have to get past 8, and then I would think about the Chargers
Who's 8?
moving up. Carolina, but Carolina people now assume are going to move into 4 or 5.
You think that they're going to get... Well, here's the big thing you have to remember with Cust and these quarterbacks. He doesn't want Mac Jones. And I don't think Mac Jones goes number 2. But he might go number 2, which would be the greatest thing of all time. Just the flip and the spin being put on that, I am 100% here for.
But also them passing on Mac Jones, him bashing Mac Jones, the team that Mac Jones goes to, he now laughs at them and the prospecting moves that they make to surround Mac Jones, and then Mac Jones becomes amazing.
Well, there's 5 quarterbacks,
Like he
right?
did with Josh Allen.
Yeah, just laughed off Josh Allen after initially liking him too. He's never liked Mac Jones though. I think it'd be funnier to hear himself talk himself into it, like he had to talk himself into Darnold, and then started calling him Super Bowl Sam instead of getting cut Sam.
So I am tickled. I am tickled
What
at
do the Chargers do then? They're at 13? Do they trade up to 11th to have the second best pick of the draft? Just get to that spot.
I don't know. The Chargers, they could just see how the board plays, but offensive line, corner, receiver, I don't know.
A lot of options. What's Philly doing? I guess
They are
confirming
now
that Hurts is their
at
starter.
12. Yeah, I don't really know what Philly is doing.
Do they think that one of those wide receivers drops to them? Because if they're going to roll out Hurts at QB, maybe give him a weapon or two instead of like decrepit Ertz. I guess Goddard's going to be
Ertz
back.
won't even be back.
Well, he's still under contract.
Yeah, but
Are they going to cut him?
They might.
Trade him for a non-existent 12th round pick?
Yeah, like a 5th round, something come the draft.
Like, he looks washed. I don't know who wants Zach Ertz at this point.
Yeah, I guess, because it seems like the way the movement kind of happened this offseason, why wouldn't he have moved if any GM liked the tape?
I
Like
guess
from the because there was a lot of needs from the Chargers, the Bills. See, like there was a lot of tight end movement, and no one won. Like, I don't think it's about the capital. It's like he sucks. Like I don't think anyone's afraid to give up a 5th rounder if they think they can get a good Zach Ertz.
No, I agree. Maybe the injuries have become too much.
But he's like a fancy name that your fan base would like on Twitter.
Yeah, you drafted him in the 4th round of your fantasy draft 2 years ago. He's great.
Yeah. You've really tried to trade for this guy many times. Must be good.
Wonder if Carolina can move their way up. Because San Francisco is
San Francisco also is Teddy, and they might just kick the can down the board for those veteran QBs.
No, Carolina has.
Carolina. Because like when you hear Carolina talk, it's like plan A, B, and C is like trading for a star quarterback.
Yeah, and then if not, then it's Teddy, who's fine. I like Teddy.
But I guess Atlanta is the big question too. Like, do they want a quarterback, or do they? Arthur Smith turned around Ryan Tannehill. Why can't Matt Ryan throw 30 touchdowns and 9 interceptions next year and use the draft pick?
What do you think San Francisco? I mean, San Francisco is drafting a quarterback. That's pretty telegraphed at this point by moving to the 3rd overall pick. But who do they draft there? And does that guy start right away? Because I would have to say yes.
Not if they draft Trey Lance.
But even if they draft Trey Lance, like who was the first quarterback who's been drafted inside the top 20 the past, 10 years that doesn't start within 6 games?
Tua?
But they forced him in.
Yeah.
Like there was no need to start Tua.
Justin
they were like,
Herbert wouldn't have started.
But
would not have started.
But we don't know that. What if the Chargers had started 0-3, 0-4 last year? He's not the starter for week 5?
Knowing Anthony Lynn, probably not.
But it's just, we see it every single year. We talk ourselves into, well, the rookie's going to learn. Like, the rookie never learns. The rookie always plays.
Rookie always plays. It's true. The rookie always plays. Even the later first-round picks, like a Drew Lock. Like, nope, we're going to see you.
They're getting rolled out
We're going
there.
to see you play, man.
Like, we only have a shelf life of you on this good contract for this time. And it's the same reason that I made the case that starting Tua was smart last year, even if it hurt the overall upside of your team. Because your upside wasn't the Super Bowl with Ryan Fitzpatrick, so what's the fucking difference?
I agree. I will say I think the 49ers pulled a fast one in the sense that, not that this affects the Jets, but there are such close relationships between the 49ers and the Jets that I believe Kyle Shanahan or someone in the 49ers, in important yet kept it casual enough conversation, knew exactly what the Jets are going to do with number 2, that they are like, no, we can go now. Let's go to number 3. Because there's such strong relationships that in like personal correspondence, I think the Jets might have like tipped their hand to the organization. And I don't think they matter. Like the Jets make the pick. They don't care what goes on behind them. So I think the 49ers know who they're taking, because I think they are 150% certain, because of relationships, who the Jets are taking.
That could be the case. I would probably wager that it's not. It's that when they looked at it after Lawrence,
They're just
they had 2 guys that they rated as, these guys can be our quarterbacks. If we get to 3, we get one of them. And we'll let the Jets take who they have, and we have, let's say it's Wilson and Fields. And there's like, we have them rated almost exactly the same, and we think that they're both good. I don't know if it's going to be, is Fields going to be the weird guy that drops in all this?
I don't think anyone's dropping.
So you think it's going to, like, is Wilson going to be number 2 then to the Jets?
Yeah. I don't think anyone drops Pat. I think Miami Dolphins are so freaking genius. They're going to pick there at 6, and they're going to take the first football player in the draft, just like they would have done at 3, but they got the capital to move.
Trading, has there ever been a better break in the history of a franchise than Laramie Tunsil's dad releasing that picture of him in the gas mask bong?
From being able to draft him to them being able to...
Well, the only reason they got to draft him, because that stupid photo came out, he fell in the draft, they got him, they traded him to Houston for 2 first-round picks. Now they've traded one of those Houston first-round picks for like 3 more first-round picks.
And it's going to get Aaron Rodgers to the Dolphins in a year.
Probably.
Like, that's what's going to happen.
You know, after Brady finishes out his year with the Bucks, hey, Tom, why don't you come over?
I don't know, Rodgers, Wilson's going to have a revised list.
And the Dolphins will all be on that list because their team will be close. Yeah. They're well coached. They'll be a quarterback away.
Great place to live in Miami.
No taxes.
No tax.
It all comes down to the taxes.
It's a great place. By all accounts.
Or maybe Tua's just fine. And they're good.
And by all accounts, it's a great coach, GM, like organizational structure that's got respect throughout the league. Yeah. Or they hit a gold mine in the quarterback and they have all this draft capital. And everybody's fucked. Everybody in the American Football Conference in big trouble. That's why I even joke with my buddies. Like, no, if you cheer for a team in the AFC, you better hope to a shit. Because that team's a Super Bowl contender with Justin Herbert. Yeah, I said it.
I actually would not disagree with you. With the way that Herbert played last year, put on that Dolphins team this year, I think they'd be looking really good. Like I said, I'm going to give Tua another. I can see why they're giving him another rollout and
100%.
Not drafting someone else.
And kick some of that capital down
knowing
the road.
That, if you put Teddy Bridgewater on that team, they'd be really good. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater from last year on this Dolphins team, they're really good.
So what's the worst case scenario? Do the Dolphins have the guts if Tua doesn't show the signs, but they win games?
I think that they do. If they're winning games and he still looks bad, I think that they'll go get someone.
Because that's the gut. The Rams had that gut.
Who do you go get in week 6?
No, not in week 6. But I mean, like, let's say they win, like they go 10-6 and make the playoffs.
No, I don't think they'd kick it back with him.
But it's not good. Like in the same way Jared got
we're not doing it here.
We're winning because like our defense and special teams are amazing, but like it's not working. Like that would almost be detrimental, right? If you're a Dolphin fan, you'd rather them win 4 games.
Yes.
If he's not going to show that he's your future.
And you don't, I mean, good on the Rams for getting rid of Goff and identifying we got to the Super Bowl. It worked smoke and mirrors with Goff for a year. He's not that good. He's fine, but he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. We're here right now.
Didn't the 49ers just do the same thing?
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, the team we need to chase in our division just gave all away their draft capital, so they don't have them, we don't have them.
Trying to think of what would be the better move for them, because they would have 2 options. Let's say they go 11-5 this year and Tua sucks. It's special teams and defense.
Like a Rex Grossman, like 11-5. Like you can see that this is a great team, but we're not idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
an idiot. I know.
You can look at the situation and be like, oh, they would be better if they had a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Their record could have been worse this year, even if they had a better quarterback, but they would have a chance to win a Super Bowl with a better quarterback and this team structured around them. I understand what you're saying. If that's the case, I think they have 2 really good options. One would be go out and get a vet, either sign a vet or make one of these trades for fucking Matt Ryan in a year's time. It probably takes a second-round pick to go get him.
Literally, though, you're not wrong.
Or you go sign a veteran free agent, or you have all this draft capital, package 3 first-round picks together to trade up to the top of next year's draft, and go take the guy then.
So, I mean, I just love they did the absolute right thing. You 100% have to give Tua a full camp, a full season, proper protection, proper...
a real playbook?
Real game plan, proper installation for him, a chance to get healthier. You brought him targets. You could draft him whoever you want. Makes sense. But so smart in that they kicked all their leverage down the road for if it doesn't work.
And it's on the franchise itself to see if it does work. Because maybe they felt like they don't have a complete evaluation because of what happened last year. Maybe they thought it's like, this is a shitty circumstance. We had to see what we saw. Maybe they assessed the situation. That's why I think that they would move away from Tua if he's not good. Is I think they looked at it with Fitzpatrick, be like, hey, we're a good regular season NFL team. We're going to beat the bad teams. We'll probably lose to the good teams. We get to the playoffs. We're not going to win with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe Tua's good. Who knows? Turns out he was not. And I think they'll have that same mentality this year. Like, we need to see, now we saw didn't work or it does work. But he's so cheap. You did take a lot of draft capital to use with the number 5 pick that you owe it to yourself to see if you were right or wrong.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It doesn't feel like it's a mess there if it ends up being Trubisky. Like, it seems like they'll just be fine. They could just plug and play.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they'll be committed to Tua in that sense. We can't get it. He's going to stick in the league. There's something about Tua that has he's like good Tebow.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
If Tebow had a modicum of ability to start in the NFL, he would have been around for 20 years just based on the sales he would do. And Tua feels like people have an opinion on Tua where they don't on a lot of people.
100%.
And if he is good, he's going to be a fucking superstar. But if not, he'll go down as one of the bigger draft busts of all time because of the name that comes along with him. It's a very precarious situation that he's in.
It's fun. And then there's a lot, just even the whole Mac Jones debate, like draft conversation.
Do you think he's going to be good? I don't know anything about college football, so I don't know.
I came in, I was actually listening to NFL radio on Sirius driving in, and Charlie Weiss, take it for what it's worth, said he would be his second pick. I don't know why they were interviewing Charlie Weiss, but...
He was available.
Yeah, I guess the producer got Charlie Weiss on the phone, said he has Mac Jones as his second quarterback.
Noted draft specialist Charlie Weiss.
Yeah, I don't know.
Didn't he coach up the Colossamy bag? That
Yeah, and Brady Quinn.
So he knows quarterbacks, how to develop them, how good they are coming out of college. Guys are terrible. Who's the last good Notre Dame quarterback?
Aren't those good quarterbacks? Or you mean
no? Those are not in the NFL.
Those
are not good quarterbacks.
I don't know, man.
Who was the guy that was kicking around? He started for the Packers. Kaiser.
Okay, yeah.
Also terrible.
Yeah, it's true.
Notre Dame just loves. Did Book transfer? Or is he going to the NFL? Like, what's going on?
People loved Kaiser.
Yeah.
People had him like ahead of Mahomes on boards.
Savvy people had him. Maybe there's still time for that to come to fruition. Who knows? Any of the signings that you liked? Did you like the Golladay signing?
I like what the Giants are doing. I got no issue. Good for them. They're surrounded. They're in New York. They got a football team.
They have the popular football team.
Yeah, but I say I like what the Giants are doing because I know there's a second move, but I can't remember what. Oh, they've got the corner from the Titans released.
Yeah.
Adoree Jackson.
And they also signed Devontae Booker to back up Saquon.
So, yeah, I think they're doing the right things in a winnable division. I mean, I'm still torn on, like I have not a silly question. Like, I don't know the answer. Like, in a fantasy draft next year, who'd you rather have, Golladay or Keenan Allen? Like, do they go they go probably right near each other or no?
I think I'd take Keenan Allen. Like, did Mike Williams resign?
It's a 5th-year deal.
But they opted in?
The option, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you lose Hunter Henry.
Yeah.
So it's Keenan Allen, your boy Parham, Mike Williams, and who else is there catching
passes?
Like
they had that Ty Johnson and Guyton. Herbert was finding guys.
Okay. So yeah, I think I would take.
But Jared Cook.
Jared Cook. Of course.
Of
course. At least he's the number one there. And not to say that Golladay won't be the number one, but like I like Slayton. I like.
They have a lot of targets, though. What, Ingram? Who you like?
No,
Shepard.
Sterling Shepard. So you have those guys. Jones likes to run more than Herbert does. Just he's on his ass a lot. Although the offensive line looked a lot better in the second half of the season. You get Barkley back, and just that team feels like it might be committed to running the ball a little bit more with Barkley back. Like, why else would you have Barkley? I don't know. And I think that Herbert's better than Jones. So I think I'd rather take the number one on the Chargers. In their new system, hopefully it's a bit more up-tempo, a bit more pass-heavy, and stop making really stupid decisions around the goal line and with timeouts. Rather than, I don't know, does Jones have a connection with Golladay? I don't know. I know that Herbert does with Keenan Allen. So I think that they will go around each other in fantasy drafts. I think I'd rather have Keenan Allen, though. Keenan Allen was putting up like 15 target games last year with Herbert.
It's true. Oh, get me to the season.
It's just like Eckler. Like, on paper, Eckler should be a perfect fit with what the Chargers want to do. But you always just worry that they won't do the right thing. Should I be worried about that still?
No, we are bringing strategy. We are going to the frontier of the movements that you preach for. That's what I've been promised.
You've been promised a lot of things.
but not like this. I've bought in.
I thought the Giants actually played really well in the second half of the season last year. I thought they got, despite losing a lot of pieces along the way, like their talent overall got worse. But as a team, they actually played a lot better. So that was somewhat encouraging for a first-year head coach, I think. Like, I wouldn't go into the season if I was a Giants fan thinking like, oh, we can't win this division. Like, all the teams in that division.
Oh, yeah, all of them.
Like, Dallas will come in as the favorite, but why should they be the favorite? Yeah, Dak's back, but how healthy is Dak going to be? Is their defense any good? No is probably the answer. But I don't know what the fuck Philly's doing.
They also have the 11th pick, the Giants, so they're
second best pick of the draft. There you go.
They're in a
Where do
good
they
spot.
go? I guess they can just go best available.
They can go best available. Micah Parsons, the Penn State linebacker, seems like an easy fit there. If he lasts, they can go back to the offensive line. They just signed the corner. They could go defense.
Did you like what New England did? Because I feel like people are very torn on this.
I don't mind it.
It feels like a kick the can down the road type of offense, though. Cam, 2 tight ends. Like, where are they going with this team?
The thing is, they want the perception of them. Based on how people spoke about them before, like free agency,
Was that they were the worst team
that
in the
they
league.
won like 3 or 4 games, but they really did win 7 or 9 games, and you thought they were like deplorable, and they won 7 and 9 games. So now they will have a little more juice all over the place. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all this talk of a Patriot way, it changes differently when you don't have Brady and you're not drafting 30th. Like, it changed. Like,
I have no idea how that's going to work out. I'm interested to see how it plays itself out.
If you were, say, like Paul or Tim or Gary and 3 of your good friends who cheer for AFC East teams, are you happy about this or annoyed? Like,
Let's ask Paul. Paul,
like,
are
would
you
you rather them like restart, like, or like let them be veteran? Who cares?
What do you make of the Patriots and their chance to knock off your mighty Bills this year?
I mean, what'd they really do?
They got 2 tight ends and signed Cam back.
Yeah, like,
And like
no
a bunch
offense to Jeff. I know, like, he loves Hunter Henry, but, like, I don't think Hunter Henry's all that
Hold
good.
on. 2 tight
Like, I
ends.
don't think
they
he's
sent like
special.
12 guys, didn't they?
I mean, those are the critical parts of the offense.
From
at least.
fantasy.
Cam
No,
was
but for
trash last
offense.
year and could
Signed,
basically throw to nobody. Like, I don't think they really did anything. I'm not afraid of the Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm more afraid of the Dolphins.
Edelman will be back. A lot of their defense who had opted out the year before will be back, so maybe they're just counting on those guys.
Judon from the Ravens. They made like a bunch of big moves.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to profess to be a big scout of like Judon and like the Ravens' defensive side of the ball, but apparently like he was a huge benefactor of everyone else around him being good.
maybe, but I'm just saying they made a lot of big moves. They brought Trent Brown back, who was a bust for Oakland. They signed that receiver who they overpaid, I think.
Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah. I'm just saying it was like a consortium of moves. I don't think Hunter Henry is changing the landscape of a division outlook.
It all really depends on Cam. Is Cam?
But what if they trade for Jimmy G? Or what if they trade up for the Mac Jones pick? Like,
If I was New England, I would much rather trade up for the Mac Jones pick than trading for fucking Jimmy G.
Yeah, I
Where's
agree.
Jimmy G getting you?
No, that's what I mean. I don't like if I'm that's why I didn't mind Cam with a rookie. To me, that's a better play than Jimmy G or Mariota, who has a no trade clause in his new deal with Oakland.
Does he now?
Yeah.
Las Vegas. I've been seeing a lot of people making the Oakland mistake recently, even some big places. How long is that going to take? Because it didn't take a lot to get San Diego to Los Angeles. I feel like very few people made that mistake.
Because Oakland is like more.
People know that.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
ingrained.
it's a preeminent franchise. Would we not? Like close.
Historic franchise. But I've heard that the Jets are the preeminent AFC franchise, according to one person.
That Mayo experience! Experience!